let's talk a little bit about using Facebook groups to absolutely skyrocket your business. Today, we have an amazing interview with Becky Samuels, who has worked at one of the largest tech and social media companies in the world. Her company has become a Meta certified partner, and in 2022, she doubled her income working with clients from 2021 plus released her first offering. I am super excited because Becky is a part of my amazing program, Mentorship for Freelancers, The Social Click. You can learn more about that beneath this video, above this video, or at rachelpedersen.com/podcast. But without further ado, let's get into this interview with Becky. I am so excited to be here with you today. Hi, Becky. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi. I'm just going to dive in with the hot topic question because this is something I've seen a lot of people debate online. Who should have a community?
Oh, that's a good question. Everyone, all business owners. I think that they're really good for, if you've got your high ticket or even because I've worked in SaaS. So let's say you're in SaaS, you're a startup, and you're looking for feedback from your customers and also like getting that fan base so that they're also bringing in other people to you and everything. So I think just in general, having that community, not just on your social media platforms, but also just in one place in general is huge when it comes to being able to build, relationships pretty quickly. So
I
yes,
love that.
communities is where it's at.
For everyone, at
Yep.
least business owners.
At
And you,
least, yeah, the
at least.
business owners. Yeah.
At least. Beautiful. Okay. So, what are some of the mistakes? I would say, what are some of the biggest mistakes you've seen community owners do? I feel like I can add to this list too from my own personal experiences, but what are some of those mistakes that you see that maybe people don't realize that they're making?
I think the biggest mistake is, you know, and I made this mistake in the beginning really was like just kind of clicking create and do a group just to have one. But really you need to like, okay, what is the purpose of your group, right? So you need to kind of have a plan before you're even going to start the group so that you get the right people in your group, because if you don't do those steps, then you're just not even going to have the engagement that you want. So really like knowing like, okay, what is the purpose of this group? What am I going to be doing with it? How am I going to serve them, that my members that are in the group? And if you already have an established group, you can just go back and do the steps to fix it and fix the, because it's usually the engagement or the reach that I think suffers more in that way. And of course, not making sales. So if
Yes.
that's, your end goal.
What other mistakes do you see? Because I see a lot of people talking about having groups, but then for whatever reason, that group just isn't taking off. Like things aren't working, whether they have a big group or a small group, it
Yeah.
just doesn't ever seem to click. Why is that? Or what are some of the reasons that that happens?
I think a lot of it has to do with, of course, like there's the consistency, I think. And yeah, in the beginning, and if we kind of do have to show up every day. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to take like a lot of time. You could just be in there 10, 15 minutes, just,
That's it.
going back and stuff. It really doesn't take a lot of time.
Hmm.
And I've noticed too, like I there was one group, I can't think of the name of it, but I remember like they weren't like super small, but they didn't have like a lot of engagement. And then I think they just made some little tweaks because I've noticed that all of a sudden like the group's kind of like blown up as far as like members and everything. And I do think sometimes we have to battle with the algorithm, so it's it's like what, playing catch up sometimes on what you're putting in there. And then of course really dialing in like who's your target audience, because if you don't have the right members in there, and you just like invited, anyone, your friends, family, whatever, then good luck.
That's so good. Um, what about one question that I've been seeing coming up a lot lately is people who have been saying it's time to move communities off of Facebook. What other options are there, and are they actually like viable options?
So I have heard Circle, which I've looked into it. And there's a charge, and then I think Mighty Networks is another one, and I know there's a few other ones. I have not tried that. I've debated on trying it,
Hmm.
but I have heard people that moved their Facebook communities off Facebook and into one of those and then moved them back.
I've seen that happen
Yeah.
many times. I haven't seen it stick yet on another platform.
Yeah, that's the and even one of them was, one of my friends and the company that she works with. They did
Hmm.
that, and then she's like, "I told them it wasn't gonna work," and then they ended up coming right back to Facebook just because I think app-wise, it's just convenient for people because 'cause they're already on there, you
Yes, it
know?
makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Um, what are a few things that people can do in their group that make a big difference that you notice people just don't do?
Um, I I think basically, like, just being yourself, you can have fun, you can just be yourself, you can, um, going live or bringing in guests. I'm learning to collaborations are better than just like feeling like you're in there by yourself. So like find a buddy, to where you can, if your group is on the smaller side, because sometimes even, groups with 500 members aren't always engaged. It just depends, what the niche and everything is. But um kind of getting that collaboration with someone so you don't feel like you're alone, because I see that a lot. Like a lot of people are like, oh, I feel like I'm talking to myself. Well, just find just find a buddy that you can go, back and forth to help each other out until the engagement gets to where you
I love
want
that.
it to be,
Yeah, I
so
wish I had known that sooner because in every group I've ever started, it always feels like until there's about 1,000 members in,
yeah.
um, like you're asking all the questions, you're answering all the questions. It kind of
Hmm.
feels like a ghost town a little bit. And I never thought of doing that process with a buddy or a couple friends or, that's that's really smart. I love
Well,
that.
and then I noticed there's the cycles too, because like my group's like 560 members, right? But it's not like as engaged as clients I've worked with. But then I looked back when I started it, like, I guess I looked back like 2 years ago, right? So then, oh my gosh, look at
We've
the
got a
kitty.
kitten who is desperate to make an appearance, so we're
That
just gonna
was
keep
hilarious.
her on.
I was
So
like, what is the?
it's just a little white glove.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
So distracting, Miss Pearl. So distracting. She lives for the drama. So you said you have a buddy whose group is
Oh,
less.
so no, it was actually, so it's my group. So I went back and I looked and I was like, man, it was really engaged. I only had 200 members at this time.
Mhm.
And then, but it's like, it's so basically it was the cycle of the members in there. Basically, they needed the help at that time, but then they got their groups to where they needed it to be. So then they didn't need to come into my group and
Yeah.
ask the questions and stuff. So depending on how niched your group is, there's the cycles of the members.
Yes.
So it's almost like you have to, continue to bring members in and to grow the group just to keep
Yep.
the engagement going, especially if you're, a really niched group.
Yes. Now, you have an amazing resource for business owners who have communities, want communities, all of the above, right?
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
And what is that resource?
So that's my group growth freebie.
Group growth
Group
free.
growth freebie, or 3B, I should say.
Yes, a freebie. So,
Yeah.
for people who want to learn more about growing groups, whether you're new to it or you have a group that maybe needs a little bit of love or a little bit of strategy, you're going to want to go to beckysamuels.com, and that is totally free. We'll link to it either above this video, below this video, or at rachelpedersen.com/podcast if you're listening. And Becky, this has been awesome. Where can people learn more about you and what you do and connect with you?
They can connect with me on Facebook, or join my group. You can find that in the link of my bio at Facebook, and that's probably the best place.
We will once again link
Um,
to that. Becky, thank you so much for joining me today.
thank you.
We'll talk soon. Bye, everyone.